One thing I learned from growing up with a disability is that we don't just need employers and schools to give us accommodations and become more aware of accessibility issues. We need everyone to start learning from childhood and beyond that everyone has different needs and that we shouldn't judge others or give them a hard time if they have an accessibility need that we may not immediately understand. Because I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia as a kid, I had a 504 plan, which is a plan that disabled students are given that allows for certain accommodations. Sometimes I was allowed to leave the classroom to rest in the nurse's office or go home early. I wasn't required to take gym class for most of my middle school or high school years, and I was given assignment extensions and more leniency when it came to absences. All of these accommodations made school a little more bearable than it otherwise would have been with my medical condition. Yet there were so many times that I got unwanted attention or questions from peers, and as a result, there were many times that I was either too embarrassed to ask for an accommodation that would make me stand out, or that I did get the accommodation but felt embarrassed the whole time I used it. I also had classmates who felt I was getting special treatment because disability, chronic illnesses, 504 plans, and the ADA are not things children and teenagers learn about unless they are dealing with these things themselves. I also want to note that many disabled students don't have a diagnosis and are often disbelieved about their struggles in school rather than accommodated, and the fact that this happens proves that ableism is still very much an issue in our education system. When I was in middle school, a high schooler I knew told me that all of the accommodations I was given wouldn't have prepared me for high school or the real world. The thing is, a lot of disabled people still don't get the accessibility and accommodations they deserve in school or employment or anywhere else. But the world that we should have, the world disabled people are fighting for every day, is a world where everyone has their accessibility and accommodation needs met. And schools should do more to prepare kids for that world by teaching them about disability and accessibility and teaching them to be more accepting of their classmates with disabilities and chronic illnesses who have accommodations that they may not fully understand. And hopefully, in the process, disabled and chronically ill people of all ages will feel less self conscious about their perfectly reasonable needs.